We all have habits in our daily lives. Good habits lead us to a productive and healthy life, while bad habits act as the opposite. But most of us don't know the bad habits we have that lead us to disaster. Why do we meet failure after failure? And despite some success, why we still are unhappy? We think smoking, playing games, spending too much money, watching TV, etc. are bad habits we have. Of course, these are bad habits that can lead us to a negative life. But these are external and can be noticed by anyone. The true bad habits are within us, which grows and creates more external bad habits. Once you identify them, your transformation begins. In this video, we will discuss those bad habits and why bad habits form. And in part 2 of this series, we will do a more extensive deep dive into how to quit them with mindfulness. First, let's talk about how our mind works. Our mind is a wonderful tool. It solves complicated problems, creates things, and is also responsible for sadness, pleasure, anger, stress, success, pain, etc. The primary job of our brain is survival. It can create fear if there is a threat to our survival. It can create excitement if there is an opportunity for growth in our survival. Everything we do because our brain needs to secure its safety on Earth. We need wealth, good relationships, a healthy body, a healthy mind, etc. that can ensure that we are safe in this world. But the mind knows these above activities are good for you because these give us pleasure, not fear and stress. The activities that create fear, anxiety, and stress are negative activities, according to our minds. So, we don't jump into a fight without any proper reason. We don't walk on a busy road carelessly. We don't punch our boss on the nose, though we want to, without a strong reason. If our mind knows what is right and wrong, then why do we eat junk food, play excessive video games, have toxic relationships, failed marriages, live most of our lives in debt, etc.? The mind doesn't justify actions with their characteristics. It doesn't know what is a good or bad action for our survival. It only knows what behavior or action gives us more pleasure, not fear and anxiety. The actions or behavior that can give us more pleasure quickly are the actions our mind thinks are most important for survival. Playing video games surely makes you feel more pleasurable rather than filing your tax return. Eating junk food too is more enjoyable than eating salad. Sitting and relaxing is better than going for a run, etc. The examples can go on for days. The next thing about the mind is that the more we do certain behavior with focus and attention, the deeper our cravings become to repeat that behavior. If you have watched pornography for the first time, you will feel intense pleasure. The mind will remember this activity as important because it gave you a huge amount of pleasure. So, the mind will want to repeat the behavior over and over again. The more you repeat, the stronger your habit becomes, which ultimately leads to addiction. An addicted mind is a mind in a cage. There is no freedom, no happiness, and no joy. But what are the causes of bad habits? If your bathroom pipe is leaking, you cannot solve the problem just by shutting the doors. You need to fix the pipe. Quitting playing video games, stopping to watch pornography, or quitting smoking or drinking will not stop your bad habits. Sooner or later, you will be back to your older self. If you want to quit your bad habits permanently, you need to find the cause of your bad habits. The cause of bad habits is the unconscious attachment to the mind. No matter how perplexing it sounds, it is the truth. It is the false representation of ourselves that is the cause of our pain, fear, anxiety, worry, and stress. We will discuss this false representation of ourselves in the latter part of the video. What do I mean by unconscious attachment to our mind? We think we know who we are. But your true self is not the person that is watching this video. Your true self is detached from your mind. You may try your best to understand your true self with the mind. But the more you try, the more unsettling and confusing it will get. You cannot understand your true self with the mind because it has nothing to do with the mind. How can you know something which you don't know in the first place? Your true self can only be realized, or in other words, become aware when there are no thoughts, no time, future, or past, and start living in the moments. Once you realize your true self, all your bad habits will be stopped on their own. Once you detach yourself from the mind, your life will take on a new journey. A journey to freedom and a journey to happiness. If my true self is not my mind, what is it, and how I can realize it? Also, why the mind is the cause of our bad habits? The rest of the video will answer this question. But, before advancing, let's discuss the difference between happiness and pleasure. Happiness and pleasure. Pleasure comes from external sources: material wealth, achievement, ice creams, chocolates, smoking, talking with your crush, etc. Our pleasure depends on external sources. If we have it, or we will have it someday, it gives us pleasure and puts a smile on our face. If we lose it, or the future seems dark, pain and anxiety occur. Happiness comes from within us. It doesn't need any external sources to be happy. You are already happy. It is just that our mind covers it with the false representation. This seems like a complicated topic to understand, but in truth, it is the easiest and simplest thing in the world. By the end of this series, you will have an understanding of happiness and pleasure and how happiness can transform our lives quicker than we can think. Why the mind is the cause of our bad habits. The mind always operates with time, the future, or the past. It cannot survive in the present at this moment. It is only your true self in the present. As we discussed earlier, the primary job of our mind is survival. So, the mind constantly searches for opportunities to strengthen our survival or eliminate the threats that can occur in the near future. You need to study hard to succeed. Becoming successful is a good thing and enhances your security for survival. You need to earn more money to have a good life. You need to finish that book you are writing. You need to submit the assignment in 2 weeks. You need to have a good life partner for a happy life. Most of you may not agree with the last example. You may say you don't need any relationship. You are better single, but your evolutionary mind says otherwise, which you may be unaware of for now. Again, success, money, fulfilling your responsibilities, and healthy relationships are not bad things. It is our attachment, our cravings for it, that cause the problems. Our minds always visualize our future self as a better person than what we are today. The future self is wealthy, successful, happy, and anything better than what we are now. Most of us are so attached to this future self, we forget about the present self. Our minds constantly think about the future, what we are going to eat, what will happen if she rejects. I will do this today, then that, once I have this, once I have that. One day I will be this or that, everything will be okay someday, etc. Again, it is obsessed with the past too. Why did this happen to me? If I had been more prepared, only if I knew it in advance, I was once so happy, etc. We are so busy with our thoughts, the present slips away in front of our eyes, and once we get old or reach our ends, we say how our life has passed so quickly. It only seems like yesterday that you were just a kid, running wild in the open field, playing with your childhood friends, and smiling from the heart. Where did it all go? It was always there, you just never paid attention to it. You never paid attention to this moment, the moment where you are breathing, watching this video, and again thinking that you are thinking about it. You never paid attention to your true self, your present self, who is already here with you. So, once you fail to achieve your goals and once you cannot meet your expectation and desires, catastrophe occurs. You have designed all your future moments in your mind in advance because your mind needs to strengthen your survival. You work hard for a period, your expectation changes, and you redesign your future again. Once you meet that, your expectation again changes, and you redesign again. Because the more security you have in your life, the better. Once you fail to meet your expectation, stress, worry, and self-doubt occur. The reality keeps getting difficult in expectation of a better future. Once reality gets too difficult, and where you cannot face it anymore, you find ways to escape. Short-term pleasures, like video games and gambling. Thus, the process to create your bad habits begin. Now that you know how bad habits begin, you can fight them much better than before. If some of you need more guidance, I will talk about how you can solve your issue with bad habits in part 2. So be sure to tune in and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more. Also, don't forget to share this with your friends and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. X King out.